Good.
Ready, sir? We can start program?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, sir.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله سبحانه وتعالى فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. فأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله لا نبي بعده. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحابته أجمعين أما بعد. And welcome back to our program My American Jihad with me, Imam Shamsi Ali. Someone asked questions. Why do you use the word jihad in your program? And my answer to that is that for us, jihad is our life in general. And I have to tell you, and this might be a surprise to all of you, for those who do not understand Islam well, that all Muslims are mujahid. Because when the Muslims are involved in business, for them, business is a part of jihad. When the Muslims are educating students in the schools, being teachers for Muslims means jihad. When the Muslims are doing political activities to improve their communities, is a part of their jihad. In other words, that for us to live our life as Muslims, it means to do jihad. Because jihad simply means to struggle, to strive, to bring goodness and betterment into our society, individually and collectively. So I hope I answered that question. In the last few sessions, we have been talking about the importance for Muslim community in the West, and including here in America, to develop and to build a strong generation. And this is one of the most important jihad for Muslims in America. Because we don't want to come to pursue our American dreams in this country, or born in this country to pursue our American dreams as Americans, but at the same time we lose our generation. So preparing generation is one of that important jihad for Muslims in this country. Now, coming back to our topic, preparing future generation. In the last session, we talked about the importance of communication. The importance for the parents to learn how to communicate to our new generation who have their own mindset, who have their own psychological and mental, inclinations. They have their own ways of communication sometimes. So there's no choice for the parents except that they have to learn, at least to learn to understand. That possibly in terms of communication, we have difference between us, those who are immigrant to this country and those young generations who are born here in this country. And communication is very important. Today, I would like to underline on the importance of taking these responsibilities as a shared responsibility. We share this responsibility. Preparing future generation is not only a woman's responsibility, neither is only a man's responsibility. It's about home responsibility. And when we talk about home responsibility, we are talking about parents, husband and wife. So ensuring our future generation to be a great and strong generation is basically a shared responsibility of a husband and wife. Some husbands say, because I'm busy outside of the house looking for money, looking for sustenance, looking for the risk to pay the rent, to pay the mortgage, to provide the family, to buy food, and so you consider yourself busy outside of the house. It is not the reason for the father to be careless of their responsibility. Certainly, our sisters might take this very seriously. One of the examples that I use about the sisters' responsibility to raise children in America and in the world in general, not only in America, but including back home in the Muslim countries, one of the examples that I used to give is about, well, the situation that we are living at the moment. We are living the Hajj. It's a Hajj season. And our minds go to Hajj. Our minds are, remembering the life of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam and his wife Hajar alayhi salatu wasalam. But one thing that I would like to remind you on this particular point is about Hajar alayhi salatu wasalam. How she was deeply responsible in preparing her child Ismail to be a great committed Muslim. So when his father came from Jerusalem down to Makkah al-Mukarramah, informing him that he had a dream to slaughter him, to sacrifice him. And the Quran says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم فَلَمَّا بَلَغَ مَعَهُ السَّعْيِ, when his son reached the age of puberty, become عاقل and بالغ, قال يا بني, he came to inform him, O my beloved son, إن الله اصطفى لكم الدين, or not, يا بني إني أرى في المنام, O بني, O my beloved son, indeed I have seen in my sleep, I have dreamed, أني أذبحك, that I am slaughtering you. Imagine that. He came for the first time to visit his son and inform him that he had come not to bring him gifts, not to bring him toys, not to bring him video games, but he had come to inform him something that is beyond human capacity to understand. He had come to tell him that I have a commandment from Allah. Allah commanded me to slaughter you. Imagine that. But look at how Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam responded. قال يا أبتي, he said, O my beloved dad, افعل ما تؤمر, do whatever you are commanded. What Allah commanded you, do it. ستجدني إن شاء الله من الصابرين. You will find me inshallah among those who are patient. Now, the question is, who had prepared Ismail to have this strong faith, to have this strong commitment to Islam, that he is ready even to be sacrificed if that sacrifice is a command from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Who is behind him? Who educated him? Who raised him? A mother, a sister, a woman, Hajar alayhi salatu wasalam. She was the one who took the responsibility to raise Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam to become such a committed, strong, faithful Muslim. Alhamdulillah. So my point here, that yes, our sisters have the responsibility, but it's also the father's responsibility. Oftentimes, possibly the fathers are busy outside of the home because they leave the house early in the morning, come back home late at night. They don't have chance to sit down and talk to their kids. It is fully understandable. But at least that the father must be someone there to be a role model for their kids. And as we are going to talk later on the importance of being a role model. Because our kids are in need of fatherhood. They need to sense the presence of the father to their side. The father that can remind them. The father that can direct them. The father that can show them, charisma and love and compassion at the same time. So again, the point I would like to underline here, do not think that education is one-sided responsibility. Either it is just a mother's responsibility or a father's responsibility. It is about shared responsibility. But in talking about sharing responsibility, I would like also to connect between home and community. Or to be precise, let's say between home and Islamic center or masajid. There must be shared responsibility between home, school, and Muslim centers. I'm talking particularly in the context of America. No matter how strong you are at home, no matter how committed the father is to educate his children, but if there is no environment, there is no community where children will attach to, it might be difficult for them to maintain their iman in Islam. We have heard in the past how a father is so committed to educate his children. MashaAllah, he's an alim, he's a scholar, he's an ustad, he's a maulana. But because it is only at home, the moment the kids are going out, they don't see any community. So they lose in a different environment. And therefore, in addition to our house, masajid must be, if I'm using the word cave, al-kahf, from Surah al-Kahf. Masajid must be the cave for our children. They are running out from home, they have a safe place to go, and that is masajid or Islamic center. So it is a shared responsibility between home and Islamic center. So I would like to remind myself, those who are involved in the Islamic centers, in the masajid, that let's prepare a good program for our children in the masajid. Don't think that the masajid is the only place where we are praying 5 times daily. Masajid must be the center of education for our children. Not necessarily where they are listening to the lecture or gaining some knowledge, but at least that they sense the feel of community. They sense that they belong to a certain community. They feel that they have community to attach to. And that is the importance of masajid and Islamic center. This is the first point today, my brothers and sisters, the importance of sharing this responsibility between a husband and a wife, between home and masajid, and between home and community in general. The next point I'd like to underline briefly is the importance of patience and continuity. Oftentimes we heard from the mother complaining, Imam, I've tried my best, and I have talked to my daughter, I've talked to my son, but they don't want to listen. Even when I talk to them, they tend to say, this is my own business. Looks like their life, the children's life is their own business, and they don't want us to involve, basically. And that's what the mindset of American children sometimes, because they got that from the school. They got that from the environment they live in. They feel when they become teenager, particularly when they become like 18 or more, they feel that they are independent, then looks like they have nothing to do with family life anymore. What I'd like to remind you, brothers and sisters, that education is an ongoing process. There is no end unto it. So continue, and be patient in that process. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Al-Quran even says, "A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, wa'mur ahlaka bis-salati wastabir 'alayha." And command your family to pray and be patient on it. Because maybe today you ask them to pray, they will say, "Oh, I'm still tired." Then do it again and again. It is okay to be being talkative for good. Talk and talk and talk, but in a good way. Remind them continuously. What is what we call be patient in the process. And don't lose the temper. Because we know that oftentimes, particularly in this environment where we live in, first our children feel independence is so high. They feel being independent. You know, particularly when they reach the age of being teenagers, there is an inner struggle sometimes that in one hand they feel that they are independent and free, but at the same time they are not yet mature enough to face the real life. And therefore, it is important for the parents to continue remind them, be patient in that process, patience and continuity. Be istiqamat, have consistency and persistency in the process. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us, our children, and protect our children. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to strengthen us and empower us and guide us on how to deliver and how to educate our children, so that it can, inshallah ta'ala, we can build a strong, solid future generation here in this country and in the West in general. And again, for Muslim Americans, this is one of the most important American Jihad, preparing future generation. Because once again, let me remind you, myself first, that what is the point of coming here, chasing that American dream, but then we lose our generation. So preparing our future generation, a strong, solid in their faith, in their identity, in their Islam, that is one of the biggest jihad for Muslims in America. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
ITV, Call of Peace, Save Humanity.